Essiva, this is LaserBolt, and welcome to today's video. A lot of you guys on stream have been asking me, what is that build you're running? And for those of you who have been tuning into the stream, I kind of showed you what exactly the build is. But what makes this build so amazing is that you could actually get started right now in the demo, get the armor and the mods for the build, and have it ready for when the game comes out. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the build not only for the demo, but also for the end game. I'm going to tell you where to spend all your skill points. Once we get the 20 points, I'm going to tell you what legendary armor set you should look for, what mods you should look for, what are the best weapons to use for the builds, and what is the best playstyle for this build. We're calling this build the Reflectonito, which is going to reference Magneto and reflect bullets, so Reflectonito, Reflecto build. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If this all sounds like something you're definitely interested, a like would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget about our monthly giveaway. It is pinned in the pinned comment. Good luck to everybody that's participating. I'm going to tell you right now, using this build, guys, it's almost going to seem like you are cheating, guys. I mean, it's like if you were Thanos, you just stand in front of the enemies and they drop dead. It is so OP right now in the demo, but I'm going to tell you guys and show you guys how to make it OP when the full game gets released. Let's talk about the three core aspects of this build and what we want to accomplish with this build. Number one, we want to maximize our anomaly power because alongside reflect bullets, we're going to be using two particular abilities that are going to be focusing on getting a lot of anomaly power. In addition to that, guys, we're going to be using a lot of bleed in this build to do two things. Number one, to maximize the output damage we're able to do. And number two is to get our health back. So it's really important that bleed is a core fundamental part of this particular build. And last but not least, we're going to be maximizing our close range weapons, specifically our shotgun, which is definitely one that makes the build even better. So let's go ahead and talk about what we need to do to put this together to make this build awesome. All right, so now let's talk about the stuff that you're able to get right now in the beta. Now, of course, I am also later on in the video going to tell you the stuff you could get once the game gets released. And we're also going to go to the skill tree and tell you guys how to build it up. So let's talk about the stuff you're able to get right now within the beta. So for the gear, guys, you're going to be able to get the following mods. Now, these mods are going to be extremely important because once we get epic mods or epic gear, we're going to be able to put these mods into that epic gear with an additional mod. So it's going to make this build even better. So let's start off with the first one. We're going to get reflect bullets. Basically, that's going to be our main focal point, and we're going to be getting the strongest first. There's pretty much a requirement, especially if you want to melt bosses. The enemy with the most health takes 50% more damage. Extremely important. This melts bosses. If you guys have seen me streaming or you see the clips on the that I showed up earlier, you see that this is a boss melter indeed. Then we have the following, which is blood premier. Now this one is not a requirement, but it is a requirement for my build because remember, one of our main focal points is to get bleed and use bleed to heal ourselves and also use bleed to do more damage. So this is called blood primer, which it says all the reflective bullets applied bleed status. Really important for this particular build. Next we have, guys, another one called auto reflect. You can now fight while the skill is active, but you cannot manually deactivate the skill. It only negates 50% of damage. This one is not a requirement, but it is a requirement if you want to become Iron Man. So definitely really good one to have. In addition to that, it is actually pretty OP if you pair it up with the correct shotgun, which is the golem limb, which I'll explain a little bit how that works and why the mechanics work so well when you guys have reflect bullets. The next one we have is called bullet acceleration. This is going to increase the damage of reflect bullets by 25%. This one's a requirement because it does make it really OP, especially with the additional 50% we're picking up from the helmet. We're also going to be using that with a 25%, so it does help us out quite a lot there. Very good to output more damage with that reflect bullets. And last but not least, guys, we have extra chime, increases the skill duration by 20%. This is not a requirement, but it's actually pretty OP because it lasts so long that you can theoretically clear a whole room without even shooting anything, which you have seen on the stream. It is amazing. Now, there are some of these that, like I said, are not a requirement, and you're probably wondering, Laser, what mods should I probably be looking for those particular slots? I'm definitely going to recommend either earthquake mods or impale mods because we're going to be using those two to synergize this build. So impale or earthquake mods, primarily I would suggest an impale one because the legendary armor set that we're going to be using for this particular build is going to be crucial, and we will be taking advantage of some of the impale mods and applying these reflect bullets to that legendary armor, making this build a massive monster. It's just going to be really good. Now, that is what you are able to already do in the demo. Now, as far as weapons are concerned, there are 2 weapons that I want to recommend. I could probably recommend 3, but I think 2 should be sufficient for you guys to have. The first one, of course, guys, is this one right here, which is the Golem's Limb. Now, the Golem's Limb is a very good weapon, and basically any shotgun fits perfectly for this build, but the reason why this one fits so perfectly is because there is, I don't know if it's a bug or a trick currently right now in the game, that what it allows you to do, it allows you to keep stacking the Golem's Limb with your reflect bullets. Sounds crazy, right? I'll show you guys a little bit later in the video how it actually works, but it just allows you to stack up that, that Golem's Limb and keep it lasting longer throughout the duration of you having the reflect bullets, which is actually pretty good because you're kind of having like that defensive skill or defensive armor throughout the reflect bullets, which is really awesome. So this is a really good weapon. I have a review of this one if you want to check it out. You guys can go dive in even deeper here, but the main thing we're trying to get from this one is the Golem's Riven Rising. Killing shots grant you protective golem effect for 3 seconds. So if you keep reflecting, it's going to extend that duration. In addition to that, guys, we would replace this vampire mod, even though it's pretty good because killing shots grant 50% skill leech boost for 20 seconds is pretty good, but we could actually apply a bleed effect here. So when we shoot someone or we kill someone, it applies bleed effect to the enemy surrounding them or to the enemy you kill or shoot, which would make this build make this gun even more powerful. That's as far as the Golem's Limb shotgun is concerned. Now, the next weapon I recommend is a SMG called the Migraine. Now, the reason why we're going to be using the Migraine is because we are going to be able to use this weapon to get bleed damage on almost every single enemy because we have the ultimate bleeding bullets, which is a level 3 mod. It says shots inflict bleed on enemies. It's really important. As far as the bombs ahead mod, that one is a little bit bugged, but we could place another mod here that's going to make this weapon even greater and more powerful as we progress. So this is a really good weapon, and it's going to be perfect because once we dive into the skill tree, we're going to be able to get weapon damage for the SMG, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly how we're going to be able to do that. All right, so now that you guys know what to get as far as in the demo, now let's talk about what you're going to be able to do when the game gets released. When the game gets released, you're going to have 20 class points. Right now, we only have 2, but I'm going to show you guys where you're going to be spending those 20 class points. So in order to actually maximize this build and give it its full potential, we're going to go ahead and increase and take 1 point into Anomaly Reservoir, which is going to increase our anomaly power by 6%. We're also going to be taking 1 point into Endless Tremors, which is going to increase our seismic skill cooldown rate. It's going to reduce it by 15%. So that means we're going to be able to spam Earthquake and Impale more often. In addition to that, guys, we're also picking up and increase your anomaly power by 6% once again. Right now, of course, I can't really activate it, but you guys get the idea. We're going to be picking this one up. Next, you're going to go down 1 and pick up Paladin, which is going to use your protection skill to increase your anomaly power by 45% for 10 seconds. Remember, we are going to be using reflect bullets, and that's going to be extremely huge because it's going to give us a little bit more damage with our bullets. Next up, we're going to move up here, and we are going to be picking up Pure Anomaly, which is going to increase your resistance piercing by 15%. The reason we're not picking this one up is because we're not using none of these skills, unless you guys are going to be using Gravity Leap. If you are, you probably want to pick this one up instead of this one. Next up, guys, we're going to be picking up another Anomaly Reservoir, increasing your anomaly power by 6%. We're also going to be going down here and picking up Red River, which is going to increase your bleed duration by 30%. And you're also going to be picking up Endless Tremor, which is going to reduce your seismic cooldown by 15%. Once again, this is going to give you 30% cooldown on Earthquake and also on Impale. Next up, guys, another anomaly increase. Then on, we're going to be picking up another Red River, so that's going to give us increased bleed duration by 30%. So now we have a total of 60 bleed duration within this build. Then we're going to go with Anomaly Reservoir once again, which is going to increase our anomaly power. Once again, this is going to make our reflect bullets really, really powerful. Then we're going to go drop 1. We're going to be picking up Bloodbath, which is going to bleed effects on enemy, deal 30% more damage. Once again, allowing us to do even more damage with our reflect bullets because our reflect bullets are doing bleed, and also our weapon is doing bleed, which is doing way more damage. In addition to that, once we get into the legendary gear, you're going to see how this gets even crazier. Next up, we're going to be doing Blood Donation, which is you are healed for 35% of your bleed damage. So now not only are we getting damage with bleed, we're also getting health back with bleed. And in addition to that, we're extending this health period because we increased the duration of bleed by 60%. It's getting crazy, right? Next, we're going to be moving up one to increase your skill leech by 6%. Once again, getting help from our skills. Then we're going to go to Skilled Sentry, which is going to increase your armor by 20% and your resistance by 20% for 10 seconds when your skill ends. So every time our Reflect Bullet ends, we're going to have armor. We're going to have resistance. Every time we use Earthquake, we're going to have armor. We're going to have resistance. Every time we use Impale, armor and resistance. You guys get the idea. Next up, guys, we're picking up another Bloodbath, which is bleed afflicted on enemies deals 30% more damage. So we're getting a total of 60 more damage with bleed, and we're also getting a 60% more bleed duration with bleed. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now we're going to also pick up Earth's Heritage, which is going to increase the seismic skill base damage by 50%. So that means our Impale and Earthquake are going to get 50% boost. Now that we have that out of the way, we still have 3 more points we're going to be able to use right off the bat. And I'm going to give you a suggestion in case you want to remove an item from this one to make it even more crazier. So we're going to be picking up 1 point off here of Havoc, which is going to increase your weapon damage. We are going to be getting up close and personal, so we want to boost our shotgun and our SMG as high as we possibly can. We're also going to be getting Shotgun Adept, which is going to increase your shotgun weapon damage by 12%. So right now we're rocking a shotgun 20% just out of that. And we're going to also pick up Brawler, which is going to increase your close range weapon damage by 15%. Since we're running an SMG and a shotgun, this is going to be very exponential because even our SMG is going to be getting a 15% boost, which makes it really, really crazy. Now, the other option I want to give you guys, which you could probably not pick this one, which is Paladin, and pick this one up, which is Shotgun Master, which is going to increase your shotgun weapon damage by an additional 15%. And it's also going to increase your drop rate from the shotgun. So I would probably run this one as we're trying to farm legendaries or weapons, and then switch the build to this once we have everything that we want. But overall, in general, guys, that is the complete build. Now that you guys understand what we're picking up on the skill tree, let's talk about what legendary armor you're going to need to make this even better. So once the game gets released, you're going to be hunting down one specific legendary armor, and that specific legendary armor is called Seismic Commander's Armor. There's a really good armor because it gives you a lot of benefit to not only Earthquake, but also it gives you a lot of benefits to Impale. It mostly comes with a lot of Impale level 3 mods, and this is where we kind of have to synergize this and say, okay, we're going to probably use Impale more, and then apply the mods that we got from the demo, which are our Reflect Bullet mods, and apply it in here to make it an Impale Reflect build, which is really crazy. So as you guys see right here, this one comes with armor, and it drops with anomaly power, status power, and cooldown reduction. In addition to that, guys, it comes with the level 3 mods, which are the Impale mods, which skills can strike to additional targets. It has a lot of really good Impale mods. We only have 2 armor sets that we could kind of see the mods in, but they are very heavily focused on Impale and also on Earthquake. But since we theoretically are going to be replacing those Earthquake mods with Reflect Bullet mods, it's going to make this build even crazier. Now, what makes this even tie in more perfectly with our build, which, it's like a vampire build, a Reflect Nido, it's going to increase the damage. When you have 3 armor pieces of this, it's going to increase the damage towards enemies with bleed by 150%. You guys are getting it right. We got 60% duration, 60% more damage. Apply that 60% to that 150, that's going to give us 210 additional damage. And almost every enemy in the battlefield will have that bleed effect, making us a killing monster. And that is what ties the build together, is this legendary armor set. So if that's what you're going to be hunting towards the end game. Now, if for some reason I find a better weapon when the game gets released, or I find a better legendary armor, which I doubt, I think this is going to be the main one, or if I find better mods to apply to this build, we'll probably make another Reflect Nido 2.0 version of this build, so you guys can have ready to go. I wanted to put it out there so you guys can start farming for the gear, start getting your gear ready for when the game gets out, so you guys are already maximized and ready to go, have your mods ready, your gear ready, your weapons ready, to be able to steamroll to the content and hit those expeditions fast. I hope you guys are enjoying our Outriders coverage. You are, guys, do me a huge favor, drop a like, drop a comment, but most importantly, subscribe to this channel, turn on those notifications so you guys won't miss when our videos go live. Big shout out to everybody that's shown up to the stream. You guys are extremely amazing. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it, guys. And don't forget to check out the other 2 videos that are popping up right now on the screen. Very helpful, very informative. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.